Okay, I think I'm live. Excellent. Let me go check on LinkedIn that it is streaming. Okay, pre-live. It says it's live, so I need to check it. So I can talk to you guys. Awesome, wonderful. Ready for you here. Sudha live. Awesome. So, hello everybody. Let me go back to my Zoom to make sure that I am able to see you guys properly. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Sudha Jamte, and this is Sudha Live. You can see my setting, it's so different today because I came here to Google DevFest in San Jose. It's a Google developer group, and gave a talk about how to talk to an AI so you can learn generative AI. And this has been one of the most amazing audience. I know many of you have met me at other events and engaged with me, and there are so many students of mine. And but this was like a very engaged audience, and I'm so excited after that. And I was originally planning to go back home and then do this Sudha Live with you, which I always do at 6 o'clock my time here in Silicon Valley. It's a very nice way for me to kind of make sense of the week and have a discussion with you and unwrap things and then put them in a nice bow and go into the weekend. And I didn't have time for it. And I was like, why don't I just do it right from here? So I'm sitting here in the Google Cafe and they allowed me to just go hide here. So I'm able to talk to you. So I'm streaming this live on LinkedIn where you're seeing this. So say hello to me because I'm sitting here alone in a big, empty, beautiful cafe with nobody here. So I would love to talk to real people. And this is also streaming on to YouTube, so you can come back and take a look at this where the recording is. And Paria will make sure this is all embedded in our newsletter, the Jamte newsletter that goes out. We didn't send the Jamte newsletter last week, so I'm going to combine that content and this together and send it to you soon. Okay, so what's going on? So I try to be very agnostic. I happen to be sitting in Google, so when I'm going to give a Google product, it doesn't sound right, but I try to be very agnostic. I'm not owned by any company, any brand. I have no affiliations. I'm not paid by any of them. But I get very excited when I see a very new, promising technology. I also like good storytelling. So this week, Gemini launched, and this is the latest, greatest. Generative AI API from Google, and they have done a very good job of telling the story also. So I thought it is worth me sharing here with you. So let me see whether I can find that window. I thought I had it here. Yes. So let me go share that screen with you right here. And you can see. So we've been hearing about ChatGPT, and we had Palm, a lot of different LLM models. And then there was this whole multimodal of everything comes together. And I've done webinars on LLM for the last 4 or 5 weeks now at Weekly Wed, our weekly speaker series that we do on Wednesdays. But I just said, no, we need to get to a basic place on what is happening in the large language model space because there's so much hype and jargons. So 4 of the webinars was about introducing you to LLMs, and we did one on ecosystem because as I was traveling, there were people from enterprise who were like skeptical and said, this is all big company platform, should we actually be tied to one of them, and what's the right way to think about this? So I did that at the last third round of it, and then I did a fourth round, and we had a few more. I think the last one was about RAG and explaining what is RAG, done by Yashashwani. So here I am, and this week Gemini launched from Google, and it is saying this is the latest one, and so they've done a nice job. So that's what I'm going to show you. So you don't need to take my word for it, and see whether the promise looks interesting. What will you do with it? So I actually use this as a starting point for my session today for these developers here, for them to understand. Okay, guys, I need you to tell me whether you're able to get the audio, yes or no. Okay. um, so those of you who are on LinkedIn, do you hear the audio? So I need you to tell me that. Let me go back. Okay. I need somebody to tell me the audio is working before I go. I see a number of people. It shows how many people are there. It doesn't tell me who they are. So please say hello, or please say whether you're able to see it. Otherwise, I'll have to go the old fashioned way and go find it and look for it myself, and it'll be an echo on my own channel, whatnot. You end up testing it, and usually it ends up doing that to me, right? You've seen that, where it looks like I'm just talking to myself. So help me understand that. It will be helpful. Okay, so what I'm sharing here is the Gemini screen. Let me go back to the screen that I was sharing with you. And I'm going to do this on, where is that window? Okay. I'm going to close unnecessary windows so it's not a distraction. And I've been talking so much about Gemini, and you're like, why are you not showing that to us? So please tell me you're able to hear the audio. It is important because it's talking. Okay, let me show the. Not yet started. Audio is not started.
Let's start. All right, testing Gemini. Here we go. Tell me what you see.
I see you placing a piece of paper on the table. I see a squiggly line.
What about now?
The contour lines are smooth and flowing, with no sharp angles or jagged edges. It looks like a bird to me.
What if I add this?
The bird is swimming in the water. It has a long neck and beak. It is a duck.
Yes.
A duck is a type of waterfowl in the family Anatidae. Ducks are closely related to geese and swans. The duck appears to be blue. This is not a common color for ducks. However, there are some breeds of blue ducks. These are typically not as common as other duck breeds. It is more common for ducks to be brown, black, or white.
Are you sure?
What the quack? I was just talking about a blue duck, and now you're holding one. It looks like blue ducks are more common than I thought.
Would this float?
I'm not sure what material it's made of, but it looks like it might be rubber or plastic.
What if I tell you it's making a squeaking sound?
Oh, if it's squeaking, it's definitely going to float.
Nice.
It is a rubber duck. It is made of a material that is less dense than water.
Can you teach me how to say this in a different language?
Okay, so I'm pausing that because I want to talk to you guys. Okay, I will come back to this, and I'm back. Okay, so my audio is back here, and I'm able to come talk to you guys. So somebody please confirm that you're able to hear me, because last week I had this issue when I went to share and came back that you couldn't hear me. So I want to make sure that you're able to hear me this time. Let me remove myself off mute. Okay, it is still a little lag on what it is showing here. So I want to make sure that you're able to hear me. So from what you saw of the Gemini recording, right? For what you saw of Gemini, right? It showed a promise of the latest. Okay, it is showing my recording at least from, let me double check. Awesome, awesome. I'm able to test it out. So, okay, I'm coming back, guys, because thank you for everybody. Yes, I saw, okay, somebody has commented with a heart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Zoom, since I know it's working, because I'm so paranoid, because last time you were all so kind to stay with the recording and then it was not working. So I felt very bad, and I'm going to not make that happen again. Okay, so we're going to continue with this. So this is Gemini. It is showing me an AI that they're talking to, they're drawing, and it is understanding the image. That's where it is, but it has a lot of other capabilities.
Oh.
The contour lines are smooth and flowing, with no sharp angles or jagged edges. It looks like
Okay, this is not the screen I should be sharing. I want to actually show you the Gemini where I left it, right? So is it interesting for you guys? Do you want to see the whole thing? I went off to that window from where I was sharing. Just give me a minute. Yes. So we left it at the rubber duck, right? That it was. Yeah.
And give me a few options. Ooh, can you explain how to pronounce the Mandarin one? Is it Yatsu?
Yatsu is pronounced with a first tone. In Mandarin, there are 4 tones, which are essential to distinguish the meaning of words. The first tone is a high, level tone.
Oh, okay.
The duck is in the middle of the ocean. There is no land nearby for the duck to rest or find food. It is unlikely to find ducks here naturally.
Okay, based on what you see, come up with a game idea. Oh, and use emojis, please.
How about this? We can play a game called Guess the Country.
Sure, let's do it.
Clue 1. This country is the home of the kangaroo, the koala, and the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, that's easy.
Clue 2. This country loves football and has won the most men's World Cups in football history. You are trying to get me to find the paper ball under the cup. I accept the challenge.
So this is visual puzzles. They're trying to show.
The cup to the left.
Nice.
I know what you're doing. You're playing rock, paper, scissors.
What do you see now?
The fingers are spread out to look like the wings of a butterfly.
What's this?
Big ear and barking mouth, a dog.
Sweet.
The coin should be under the right hand.
I don't know.
The coin is in the left hand using a sleight of hand technique to make it appear as if the coin has disappeared. Both objects are round and flat.
There you go.
Both are food. The orange is a healthier choice than the cookie. Citrus
So this is making connections, right?
can be calming, and so can the spin of the fidget toy. They are both examples of popular toys that have been enjoyed by children and adults.
Do you remember last week we saw TextFX? And it was doing the same thing, right? It was making connection of words to other words and generating words in LLMs. We're just demonstrating that.
Alike for many years.
Give me some ideas for what I could make with this.
I see pink and green yarn. How about a dragon fruit? Or how about a green cake with a pink heart?
Okay, how about these colors? And maybe show me some animals.
Okay, now I see blue and pink yarn. How about a pig with blue ears? Or an octopus? Or a bunny with a pink nose?
Image and text.
Ooh, I'll keep those in mind. Which way should the duck go?
Going left leads to a duck, which is a friend. Going right leads to a bear, which is a foe. It is better to make friends than foes, so the duck should go left.
This
Smart
is
choice.
logic.
This is a picture of a crab.
That's right. Is this the right order?
No, the correct order is Sun, Earth, Saturn.
Based on their design, which of these would go
The
faster?
best.
The car on the right would be faster. It is more aerodynamic.
Which looks more fun?
The one on the right, because it has a loop.
What do you think this person might be saying?
How about a woohoo?
Okay, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to come back to the Zoom and then talk to you guys. I believe I'm still on audio, so thank you for confirming that with me. So what we saw last was the spatial reasoning. That's a hard one to crack. So I'm very happy to see. I'm so happy to see more people show up. Please say hello. Especially, I want to make sure the audio is working and I'm able to talk to you guys and keep it engaging. So what we are seeing there is a lot more spatial reasoning, logic, and things that LLMs have not been able to do, or generative AI has not been able to do. So that's a promise. So I'm super excited about it. So I just came out of this DevFest talk on Talk to an AI, and my whole claim is talk to an AI because AI is pervasive. AI needs our data, and it's all around us. So you don't need to take any new words, especially there's so much hype now. You don't have to take every word and just say, I don't know what it is, and I'm not coding, I'm not building this, and I'm not on this platform, I'm not on that cloud. There's going to be something. But this AI, if you talk to an AI, you can actually figure out what that is. Last week, Yashashwini, our AI researcher at Weekly Ved, taught us about RAG. That's a the latest new buzzword in the AI, generative AI space, but she did that. So you'll be able to check that on our YouTube, or if you're on Teachable at the Business School of AI, you will be able to, on Weekly Wednesday, if you've signed up, you'll be able to come uh, take a look at that. So I want to go back to my promise of what is exciting this week. One definitely is Gemini. I think it has a lot of promise. I do not want to lose focus on when we are working on something, especially in the AI space. We have to feel passionate either about the technology or the business or the industry or some functional area, and then see the application. So as you're watching that Gemini demo, I want you to think about what are they promising. They're saying spatial reasoning, and they're talking about it understanding logic, and of course text to image generation and all that stuff, right? And it can visually interpret images and conclude things and all that stuff. The chatty part, I think, is the UI some brilliant marketing team has built, so congratulations for them too. But I would say, if you look at any of this and you say, how could I apply this? The difficult thing and the challenging thing for innovators is um, not just like looking at some tech and API given to you and say, here is a capability, just go build it. What are you building? Whose problem is it solving? Are you trying to come some with innovative way of doing something different? It could be fun, it could be useful, whatever, but it's innovation, right? Ideas and innovation. I did a session at Barcelona Technology, not Barcelona Technology School. I did a session at Barcelona Technology School also. I did two classes recently. One was at Barcelona Technology School for the business masters in business leadership. Transformations, digital transformation masters overall, all of them are digital transformation. That's what the school's focus is. And we had a lot of fun discussion. And then and I taught them AI ethics. And the other set I did at Barcelona was with Elisava University School of Engineering and Design. And I gave them a framework to think about this whole innovation, right? If they are out to they are learning AI, and they are design students, and so they're learning a lot of other skills around it. And we are saying, okay, I'm going to teach you AI, and you're going to prototype. You come up with an idea, you prototype, iterate, and you're going to launch it. And that's their project for them to get their masters. And so we said, you have to think big and world changing. And so I gave them a framework to think about this as, how do you do this on your own, instead of coming to me or the dean or other teachers, other faculty, who's going to shoot that down and say it's not big enough? How do you think about ideation? What are the dimensions of an idea? If you come up with an idea, what is the metadata of what defines an idea? Think about that and validate things, validate your assumptions, think about why you're doing what you're doing, how, whether this can be a big idea, whose problem it's solving, what is the market. Then you and understand that various dimensions of it, test it out. I would say, okay, this is not good enough. The main thing I said is, find out if somebody else is doing it, and if somebody is doing this, it means it validates that you're solving a real problem. Usually entrepreneurs and students especially think like, oh, somebody else is doing it, I'm done. And that's not true. If you're doing something, and you might be doing this for a different market from them, eventually there must be collaboration opportunities. You don't need to go into this communication mode if that's not your thing, but I want you to understand where you are in earth with your idea, right? And then the size of the market, the business language we always say is what is TAM, total availability market, and all that good stuff. So I have a framework. If somebody's interested in it, I'm happy to share that outside, but this was something I did for the class. So the first step was ideation. The second step was validation with the real customer. How do you do that? How do you reach the customer channel, and how do you measure it in a measurable way? And the third part is test and learn, right? So you find the information from the customer, now you iterate, you pivot. That's the most common thing that happens with startup. So how do you pivot? How do you actually know that you need to pivot? What are the metrics for it? So when you say you're validating with the customer, it's not like you found a customer and the customer says, this is interesting, I would use it, that's great. Are they going to pay for it? Is there a demand is not just need, but demand is need coupled with purchasing power. And so you come up with a set of metrics that will measure, and then you test and learn. So that was kind of my framework to think about: ideate, validate with customers, and then test and learn, and pivot and iterate. So that's what I was teaching in the last class. So when we are looking at Gemini, you're looking at the latest from Microsoft, you're looking at new stuff from Bard, you're looking at new things from Cohere. There are a lot of open source. There's this new thing called small models. small language models. There is one from Mozilla where they've taken a whole bunch of models and then they put it in open source in such a way that you can just download it and use it, run it on your local machine for talking to a whole bunch of famous models out there. So there's a lot of innovation that's happening in the AI space, LLM space in recent times. But important thing is for you to not get intimidated by it. So if you're going to build an idea out and build a startup and you say, I want to take that idea and I want to do this reasoning engine, they have something with reasoning. Now how can I apply that into my company? And you might be building furnace for all you know, right? And then you say, how am I going to use this visual reasoning? I'm making this up now with you. How am I going to use this visual reasoning capability to actually look at images and then watch my furnace that it doesn't blow up, and then call do some actuation or call people for help or do something, right? That is solving a business problem. So you kind of do this in a iterative way and validate that. So that's kind of my thinking. That's what my students do. I love that. So I hope that was inspiring enough for you to come up with it. I want to hear what did you feel when you saw that, and is that something that you could relate to and you could do something about it? What was your do you think you're going to do something with it? I would love to see. I mean, if it's not sometimes your ideas are not ready to be shared with the world. That's okay, but I would like to see whether you're going to do something with it. What was your thought process? Did you not believe it? Is it real because it was a demo? So that was one. The other thing is, I am actually going to do two things. One is I'm going to do a talk. um, Let me bring the window back for you. uh, so before I tell you what my plan is for the next week, I was talking about digital transformation, right? So I want to show one more thing relevant to that. It's a very, very interesting paper um, on this is called Modeling Digital Penetration of the Industrial Society. It's about digital transformation, right? Digital transformation, how do you think about this in a more empirical way? And this is by my friend Johannes Brana and Ripi Singh. And this is a published paper, so this is very fascinating. And the IoT Council that I've been part of has actually posted this paper. If you don't have direct access to it, I want you to see this. So I just wanted to say that since I was talking about digital transformation in the Barcelona school context, right? So I was telling you about that. So I thought before I switch topics to go somewhere else, I just thought I will share this with you. Okay, for those of you, I still see number of people here. Are you listening? Are you talking to me? Do you want to talk to me? What do you want to talk about? Do you have questions, comments? I told you about digital transformation in my class. I told you about the framework that I taught the students to, validate ideas as entrepreneurs at Elisava University. I showed you the Gemini video that was exciting for me. So talk to me. I want to hear. Is there something that you have a question, comment? Is there something that I can help you with? Or we can have a fun conversation, right? If nothing, all of this, we can have fun conversation. I would love to hear from you. So. And you can also introduce yourself, in the chat here on LinkedIn. The other thing you could do is just introduce yourself, who you are, why you're here, what are you doing. That would also be fun because you might be able to hear from other people who are in the similar field and get validation and feedback and all that good stuff also, right? So I was thinking about that as another thing. Okay, so now let me tell you the one. Okay, so events. So one of the things I did this week was, just now I got out of talking to the Google DevFest people, right? It's a bunch of developers. It's a meetup, Google Developer Network, and this is the San Jose branch, but this is one of the bigger ones that come periodically, and they invited me. And I said, talk to an AI to understand generative AI was my topic. So you've seen this in all my classes and stuff. I talk to I use the with Google, and I do that. I'm working on a new project, which is one of my courses for LinkedIn Learning, and this is about teaching generative AI for business using no code. The course might be called something else. I don't know exact launch timing. It's coming. I'm working on it. And so I'm looking at what is out there in the generative AI space already, but I want to use it do this explain models in English, which is also in my book. But the more the models come, I'm trying to do that, and I'm trying to get tools and no code opportunities. So I'm not talking about simple prompting. When you say no code, you just prompt with an AI. So if you are an enterprise, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building something and you want to understand the foundation of everything that's thrown at you, how can you do that using no code? So that's kind of my new thing. So I kind of ended up making a first version of my demos to get started. I just did a few of them. I had like a whole bunch of them lined up, and this was such an animated crowd that it was so engaging. It was awesome. So if any of you were there, thank you so much for being there and contributing to this amazing energy we had today. So one of the things I like to do is I do the talk to an AI with Google, the Google Draw one, and then take one of the images, and I said, okay, now let's generate this using Scribble Diffusion, using Scribble Diffusion, which is based on top of Stable Diffusion. And sometimes it comes out well, sometimes it's bad. My doodling is horrible. I'm like not a good doodler. So it was asking me to draw a lion and a duck and all that. So I drew a duck, or a swan. I think it was supposed to be a swan. I drew some bird looking thing, which was very lousy. So I don't do that deliberately. No, really. I just loves your drawing. And so it's not a proud thing to say, but that's what it is. And so what happened is I ended up taking that and saying, okay, now let's go to Scribble Diffusion. So that's what I'm going to show you. So I ended up making Scribble Diffusion draw this for me, and it has done fantastic, beautiful pictures. When I failed in my drawing, it has drawn. So I want to show you what it drew. So I had a lousy picture. So a disclaimer, right? Because I had a lousy, and I said it's a swan. So it drew a swan, tried to map to what I gave it, and it drew a very lousy swan. It tried to draw half a swan, which looks like a piece of ice, and it has a reflection of it, trying to be an artist, whatnot. But you get the picture. This is not a real swan. So it is actually trying to map this as if it is the face of a swan, but this is the end of the swan. I don't know what it has drawn. So this turned out to be one of the lousiest pictures generative AI has generated for me. So that kind of gives us a sense of reality of where things are. A whole bunch of people like Robert Shankar will say, no, you didn't prompt it right, and you need to do the right prompt and whatnot. The idea is they are taking a drawing, and then they are also taking the prompt. So it's not just from the prompt. And so my drawing was bad. So what does that mean? What is the AI doing about it? How is the AI thinking about this? And I would like to understand a little more transparency. One of the discussions when I was asking how do you compare AI with generative AI, and people were saying it's not transparent and explainability is a thing. I've shared a Fiddler AI demo on observability earlier, and that's what it is, right? We don't know how it is thinking in its brain, and Yashashwini is working on a PhD on generative AI, machine unlearning for generative AI. She did the session on machine unlearning. So she's going to come. This is the event I was gearing up to. So she is going to present machine unlearning for generative AI, which is our PhD topic. So she's going to educate us on the state of the art of where we are in terms of machine learning at NeurIPS. So that's what I do at the end of the year. So Susanna Raj and I go to Global South in AI. That's a nonprofit we founded. And we go to NeurIPS, which is called NeurIPS, which is a big AI conference. We feel very blessed to be part of this big group of, and I feel like so tiny. It's like when you sit in front of the ocean, or you climb up, see a big mountain, and you feel like so tiny, or in front of a tree. I usually feel very tiny. It feels like that when I go to this AI research conference, and they're all researchers. They are all out to change the world, and they trying to form hypothesis and test it out and validate and come and present, and they put in so much hard work and brains and communicate and all this stuff. And this whole bunch of people are organizing this, and we are on the social affinity group side. So let me show you that. Let me go to NeurIPS. So we have a bunch of presentations, which is called the workshop. Let me go back. Let me show you the NeurIPS site first. So if you are in NeurIPS and you want to find the agenda and get started, conference site and schedule. Okay, I got a very complicated view of this. That cannot be it. That's too much, too complicated. I cannot show you that. I'm sorry. It scares me. It will scare you. Very sure it'll scare you. Yeah. See, because I'm an organizer of Global South, it is actually showing a bunch of things that is too much. So let me go back. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so it is linked to our site and it is showing everything. So I'm trying to get to the URL. So if Susanna is here watching on the live stream, I would like you to give the link where we can show people how to join the Global South event. I'll appreciate that. Otherwise, I will go figure it out. Um, so I'm trying to get to the schedule of the Global South AI event on NeurIPS. NeurIPS is so huge. That's what I was telling you. Hundreds of people, thousands of sessions. You want to see it? You want to see the whole schedule? Why don't I show that to you? Instead of saying that these are too complicated, I'm going to show that to you. I can show that to you. That's all right. So I went to NeurIPS website and, okay, I won't save you from the hassle of this. So this is all. I just went to NeurIPS website and then said, here's the schedule, and then it shows me everything. So we are going to be here on Monday, December 11th. So that is where the affinity registration starts in the morning, and then all the different affinity groups and women in machine learning is at 8 o'clock. Black in AI has lots of events, amazing speakers and presenters. So that is happening here. Black in AI. I don't know. The new in AI seems new. Latinx in AI has a bunch of stuff going on. North African in AI, Muslims in AI, Indigenous in AI. They're all morning birds, queer in AI. So that's awesome. I'll get to attend that because then there's a whole bunch of other tutorials that's happening. And then ours is Global South in AI at 11 a.m. So if you're going to be at NeurIPS or if you have a friend who knows that you know is going to NeurIPS, send them our way. We have some amazing speakers and sessions. I'm going to share that to you in a minute. And it is in room 211, I believe. So you're able to see this. So this is the link. I'm going to share that with you. So if you're not there, you might be able to join this and watch this because they're giving us a Zoom access. And I promise people that we will not have our weekly vid next week. So I'm going to try and see whether I can live stream this and bring it to you guys. So we start off at 11 o'clock. Me and Susanna are going to kick this off. What does inclusion mean? In weekly vid, we had a session on what does inclusion actually mean. And we're going to build that out to our actual work of what inclusion means in terms of language AI. And then Roxy Simpson is going to do a keynote, and her session is called a distributed cloud for Gen AI tech stack. And it's an in-person session. No, it's not virtual. She's there in person. And she's an executive in F5, the security company. And so this is about how building Gen AI in a very distributed way, meaning you're not dependent on one company, one cloud, and it's secure and all that stuff. So that is Roxy's session. And then Kanini is going to do this DEI GPT, which is about adding diversity and inclusion using GPT. And then this is Yashashwini's session that I was telling you, explainability and machine learning in LLMs. And then our own Pariya Sarin is going to do a poster, and she's going to talk about, we've been doing this for 2 years, this whole Global South in AI. What does that mean? What has been our learning? Because when we got started, what we actually thought was there are people from around the world who are working on language inclusion from around the world in various parts of the world. And so we thought we might bring them together. We might go and educate people and bring researchers from African continent, from Asian continent, from Latin America. And we've been able to bring a new set of researchers. We've been educated on new kind of use cases and ideas, but we're not able to bring a common thread. So we thought there might be a common challenges which we found, but we thought there'll be common learning. So where are we going with this? How can we make sure, because there are about 200 languages supported by LLMs today, and there are 7,000 plus languages in the world. So how do we kind of make sense of it and bring it, accelerate this whole inclusion of languages? So Paria is going to bring a poster about that. And do you remember Elisa Torres Dernay? She did a session at Weekly Ved about girls in quantum computing. She's going to back, and Paria and Chia is going to double up and do a session to educate us about this girls in quantum computing and quantum computing. And then this is an amazing session by John Havens of IEEE on climate change. And we just learned in the last week when Susanna was telling us that in Iowa, GPT was built in Iowa with the data center in Iowa, and it has actually depleted the water supply uh, for Iowans. It's not like they've given them a job or they've got more of people from Iowa involved in building GPT. It's just taken up their natural resource. And so this whole climate change is not just this abstract idea in the cloud, but John is going to bring that home. So any questions, comments? I see more people who joined in. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. So this is Sudha Live, and I'm talking about the AI opportunities and what's happening in the AI world. I showed a Gemini launch demo, and we talked about some of my activities from recent times and recent week, what I've been teaching and stuff. And I'm talking about New Rips conference that's coming up. It's a very, very exciting time for me because Susanna and I work on this towards the end of the year is when we bring it to you guys, but we work on it for a long, long time. So it's not something we just do this. Okay, I see a bunch of people saying hi. Thank you, thank you. Oh, John is here. Okay. And I see Yuvraj, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. We have, I'm trying to go back to, um, so if the easiest thing is, I showed you new rips and all that, yes, it looks complicated. So the easiest thing is, if you go find Global South in AI on LinkedIn, we have been posting a bunch of these things. Okay, let me come back. Yes, yes, I will share. Yes, everything is like a word thrown at you, right? So I don't like those jargon things. So I'm going to actually bring it to you. I believe I've got. So this is Global South in AI on LinkedIn. So you just, I'm going to close off useless distraction things. Okay. So what I would like you to do is just go join Global South in AI, and then each of the sessions that is happening, you will be able to see. Here is John. I was telling you about how he's going to talk about the climate impact of LLMs, what we can do about it. It's an exciting session. I'm waiting for it. Here is Elisa Torres Dernay on girls in quantum computing. Here is amazing Roxy Stimson, my friend, and I'm a huge fan of Roxy. I cannot wait to learn what she's going to teach us how to build LLMs, because so many of you have said, okay, what model do I pick? What companies do I pick? And do I get logged in? And how do I deal about this whole thing? So they ask me on a selection of a model, and the other question is the ROI question, right? That's like an eternal question on how do I make sense of making money from this. If I'm making an investment, and what should I be doing? What kind of applications, and how do we go about that? So I've told you that we have. I'm working on something to get you a live lab on building chatbots, because we've been talking about LLMs in a theoretical way on understanding the foundation, but that has to be in the new year. So wait for that. Right now, my focus is NeurIPS and this amazing workshop that we are doing at NeurIPS. And here is Kanane IO Holder, the DEI GPT queen. She's going to talk about this. And here is our own Susanna Raj, and I think they did one for poster for me too, right? That's me. So who is missing? Yashashwini. I think they're going to come with Yashashwini's post next, so that is not yet been shared here. And okay, I was getting to this. There is an Eventbrite link for those of you who are going to join live or want a notification of the Zoom and stuff like that. Here is the Eventbrite. I will put this Eventbrite also on LinkedIn. Yes, I'm coming. Give me a minute. So, new IPS December 11th, workshops. Okay, you can sign up right here. Okay, so I would recommend you sign up here. You know something, this happened last week also. When I tried to add a link, I said, here, I'm adding a link. And you guys saw that the link never came. You know why? Because for some reason, it did not let me post it. I went off, it took me to a different window altogether. So I thought I had posted for you guys. I had not. It was so bad. So I think you should scream loudly. If I say, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm not doing this, you might say, where is that? What's going on? So here I'm trying to share the link with you on the Eventbrite link. So if I not able to do that, then I have to come back and do it for you, right? So that's my promise to you, that I keep saying that I'm going to do that. So here we go. Okay, so coming back, I'm going to stop sharing that window. So you saw a bunch of the things. You want to see the share window? Okay. So I was showing you the Eventbrite and all the different talks that is coming. That is all happening on December 11th, Monday. So instead of weekly ved, I'm going to be live streaming that. I'm going to have fun listening to this and being part of this and organizing this and all that stuff. And then if you're going to be there at New Rips in the afternoon at 3:30 is all our hard work coming together with all our new AI researchers presenting their posters. That's going to happen at 3:30. I'm so excited because this is a big common hall of our Global South in AI posters and several other posters that we will be seeing. So that's a big activity that I'm coming up with, and I'm super excited for everybody who's been part of this journey with us and is going to be part of this as we bring this. Our whole promise is we want to bring new researchers in the Global South and then bring us together to the bigger global AI community, AI research community, so that we can do something about it. We talk about adding diversity. What does that mean? So I've said that in the past, that you could hire people in your teams, you could all go work, you can get yourself educated on AI and be part of this and all that stuff. But when it comes to research and we want language, like if I do Google Translate, I wanted to understand the 7,000 languages. Say I wanted to understand Bari language, how am I going to do that? So that's the whole idea of where we are going with this. And then when we come back, I think on December 14th, there is an interesting event from Olu. Olu is a force. You cannot ignore Olu. So if you don't know Olu, I would recommend you go find out, Google Olu. Let me give you her full name. Um, Her name is Oluneye Oluwole. Let me first show you who's Olu, and then I will tell you her amazing, amazing, amazing work. Let me get out and share that window, because she is a force. You cannot ignore her. You cannot ignore her. You're missing out if you cannot spell her name right or don't know what she's doing. So this is Olu, and she's does so many things and events, and she's like a mover shaker doing things, so I can't even tell you everything she's doing. But she has done a digital economist summit that she's coming up with, and has invited me to join as a speaker. So I'm super excited. So I'm just going to share that brochure with you instead of going to the site. But uh, definitely I would recommend not missing out on following Olu. Where is that window, guys? I'm trying to find that window. Here it is. No, here. Yeah. Okay. So this is called the Digital Economist. It is about redefining boundaries. So I'm in the morning session. And the thing that I'm excited about is I have shared work of many different people in the past. And there is, let me find out. Am I in the morning session or afternoon session? I thought I was in the morning session. Here, I'm here. So, navigating the ethical maze of AI, balancing innovation with responsibility. It's always been my thing. And the discussion in the innovation world, and I said this to my BTS class, personal technology class, just this week, about when you look at regulation in US, they're saying you'll stifle innovation, don't give us any um, regulation. And then in Europe they are saying no, we need to be responsible about privacy of people, and we want AI regulation. And then they are like, oh, we're missing out on innovation. So we're going to have a fun conversation. And here, Professor Virginia Dignam, I'm a huge fan of Professor Dignam, and you should follow her also if you're not following her. And I'm hoping to get to know other people in here, and I'm going to be on a panel with her. She's amazing. I believe she currently is at Harvard, and she's on the advisory for UN, and she's quite a force. So she's an amazing person, worth following. I definitely would recommend that. And other than that, I think there's a bunch of fellowships and jobs that I'm going to be sharing with you. As always, I will put this. I know I did not do the newsletter last week, so I will try and get it to you. So let me share that screen, and then I'm going to close out and leave this place because I'm sitting in somebody's company and, and just hiding so that I can talk to you. So bit.ly Jamte newsletter. Um, Come on. So this is the newsletter. This is the last one I did for Thanksgiving. You can see I did it because I did a tiny version of it, and Paria comes and will give you a very elaborate, detailed one that is like amazing, has all the stuff. So we will be sharing the this event, right? The Sudha Live, the weekly wed, what else? What else? And then all the jobs, all the links, everything that I'm talking about, a bunch of reading material and upcoming events and opportunities for fellowship and everything. And the big one is going to be the upcoming event at New Rips. So I would urge you to join Global South in AI. And there is also a LinkedIn event in there. If you just want to join that, also we can give you the links. But I want to make sure that you're not missing out on this amazing opportunity that is coming from one of the top AI conferences in the world. And I hope you're not missing out on it. And for those of you who are regulars with me at Weekly Wed, we are not going to do this on Wednesday, our usual time. We are going to do this on Monday. So before I go, I'm going to show you a big. This is at Global South in AI website. This is the list of accepted authors. You can see variety of faces and people. I did show you a little bit of that. Many of them are going to be live at New Rips, and some of them are going to be joining virtually in New Rips. I'm so excited about hearing every one of you, seeing your work, what you're saying as applications for your country, your region, your language, what innovation is needed. This is amazing. And this is the list of workshops that I was showing you from that's going to happen on December 11th. So I'm excited about this, and there's this discussion and other stuff that is here. And if you want to see what a poster looks like when we put it up there, this is Paria from last year, us, and all our posters from last year are also here archived. And so if you want to take a look at that and say, okay, what is she talking about? There's a bot to teach English in India. What does that mean? It is teaching English as in Hindi and English translation. Kenyan election misinformation monitoring. So it's a lot of interesting topics that were brought in last year, and we have like a bigger number of authors and topics focused on generative AI, which is the hottest topic this year. This couple jobs that is coming up. There's a bunch of jobs for students. I think I mentioned that there's a lot of jobs for students. So if you are a student looking for internship, all the tech companies, if you go to Indeed and search for it, or you go on LinkedIn and search for it, you'll find it. There's also like a sales force AI research scientist that is open, senior strategy and learning officer in Melinda Gates Foundation, that's open. So I'll put this out in the newsletter, of course, that I showed you, the bit.ly link. But there are a few more jobs that I would like to find and bring it, put it out there for you. So let me see. I think I had another job that was specific to this week. I didn't want to miss out on this. Oh, Pindrop is hiring a senior software engineer. But the interesting thing I found about this job is I usually just don't share engineer jobs, right? I like interesting, flavorful jobs. This was for the hiring manager is Ryan Christensen. and it was for the call capture team. So what was interesting is this person's job is to connect audio to their platform, the Spindrop platform, for real-time audio analysis and to draw insights such as, from the audio that you're collecting, whether you can find detect fraud, or you can enable proper authentication of the caller. So when we are on a phone line and you're talking to a bot, it says, tell me who you are, and trying to understand and redirect us here and there. That's the brains behind this. But I just found it very fascinating that in real time they want to do audio analysis for fraud detection. So if you're working in that space, I'm curious about this. I would like to learn that. And also, like Clayman Institute on gender equality from Stanford has actually come up with a postdoctoral research fellow. It just opened up Jan 5th, I believe, right after the holidays is the deadline. Berkman Klein Center has their fellowship also. So there's a bunch of those. I'll make sure that I'll put it out on the newsletter for you, on the Chamte newsletter. So I think I've been going on for a long time, and unless you have any last questions, I am going to wrap up, guys. I need to go home and get some dinner. And leave this place because I was invited as a guest for DevFest, and I'm done, and I'm hiding here and talking to you. So I'm going to wrap up. So look out for the newsletter that will come with all the links and stuff that I was telling you about. And look out and sign up, follow Global South in AI or on LinkedIn, and then go find the Eventbrite, or I'll put the Eventbrite also in the newsletter if you're getting the newsletter. If you sign up, we'll get you the link and you can watch the Zoom and come cheer for us. And we love it. Ask questions and we learn together. I love that. On Monday, December 1st. This is in New Rips is in New Orleans, so it is in Central Time. Ahead of us, it's not Pacific time, it's a couple hours ahead of us, so it's earlier in the day, but it runs from 11 o'clock. That's why we wanted to start at 11, so it's closer to 9 o'clock West Coast time, and runs close to our usual time when we're having conversations, when we're doing weekly ved and all that stuff. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. And then when we do the poster sessions, I don't think there's a live stream for it. There's a virtual poster session that happens after New Rip finishes at the end on December 19th. I'll bring that to you. I'll tell you more information next week. But the live poster session, I'm just going to walk around, do some interviews and videos, and I'll bring it to you later. Okay. And then 14th, I'm going to go do the digital event panel with Professor Virginia Degnam with Olu's event. So exciting week ahead. I'm super excited to learn from Yashashwini and John Haven and Roxy, and have a fun conversation with everybody else. So if you're at New Rips, please, please, please connect with me, ping me, and hopefully, we'll be able to have some fun conversation and bring up some collaboration so we can do something, because it's 7,000 plus languages in the world, and we have 200 of them supposedly that language models know to learn. And then we are hearing amazing things of them understanding reasoning and spatial logic and whatnot. And so so if you are in the AI space and looking at LLMs, think about this. And if you're in New Rips, ping me and we'll collaborate. And if you're not there, that's okay. We're going to bring you a whole bunch of virtual posters, and I'm going to bring all this on live stream to you. And then we're going to bring it back to weekly ved, and we're going to have a discussion. We're going to learn. And then in the new year, my plan is to bring you the live lab for chatbot class that I've been talking about in recent times. So I'll have more information about this. So the thing is, the live lab is something that I do with a business person, right? If you are a person who has a business problem you want to solve and build a chatbot, so you're not just getting the playground from GPT and building a chatbot as an engineer, but you're building out a solution for a customer for real money, for real cost saving, business saving, or an innovation, or do something, right? I would love to talk to you. And today, when we saw in Gemini, the promise of it is not just chatbots, it's a lot more. So your boiler could talk to you saying, I'm boiling and burning, and turn on the actuator. We are getting to a very different place of this digital transformation and the digitized world, but it's waiting for us. So today somebody was asking about this AGI, and is it real that in 5 years AI will get smarter than us? I don't think so. it can get smarter. It is already smarter in some things that we should not be doing, or it is just math heavy. But what it will do and how it will change society and learning and our living and our healthcare and everything else is dependent on what we do with this. All of us coming together. So especially since I do courses with no code AI, I call on you: do not go away from AI thinking I need to take this one more course on someplace, right, to learn this, and I'm not coding. And talking of courses, before I wrap up, I'm seeing a lot of courses that is being give, like a lot of people are saying, here are this list of courses, and it's pretty intimidating because I saw them being shared, and then you just feel like too much, and I don't know all these things, I don't have time for it, and you pocket it. I've done that too, especially when I was working for large companies. I would not find time to come and do things for self development beyond whatever they were offering. I mean, I worked in places where they were good about that, but especially in a wave like this, you feel intimidated and you feel like I'm being left behind. You're not left behind. Everybody else is kind of feeling that, just they're just alone, and they're not telling you that. So one of the things I'm going to do after I come back from New Rips, before I go off for the holidays, I'm going to give you a list of courses from my point of view and organize it in such a way that you can see which are those free courses, what can you avail, what how much time you can do, even if you're going to get just a couple hours and you want to kind of build out certificates and build some foundation knowledge and stuff during the holiday break. I'll help you with that. I'm going to give you that list in a compiled fashion so that it is a little bit more easy for you to pick what you want to do. At least you can do 1 or 2 hours based on your availability. And I'm not pitching my courses, I'm talking about general courses available from everybody else. So with that, I'm going to wrap up, and I will see you at New Rips. I will see you online, or I'll see you in person at New Rips, or I will see you back at Olu's event back on Thursday when I'm back. Otherwise, I am definitely going to see you online. I'm going to try and do one more Sudha live before I wrap up for the holidays. But stay with me, communicate, and let me know what works and what you find interesting, exciting. And I will see you guys online. And I definitely am still looking for somebody who would want to work with me on a chatbot, to build a real chatbot. So it could be for customer service, for lead gen, for internal stakeholders inside your company, anything that has a human element. Or you don't know, you have a business problem and you think, he says, LLM the answer. I'll work with you. I'll tell you, because my students are super smart and they're going to go build this chatbot. They're going to come up with ROI in a very measurable way. That's my promise to you. So at least talk to me. Okay. So with that, let me wrap up. Bye, everybody. Ciao. So let me stop the recording and the streaming first. Bye. Stay safe. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye. And those of you who've already taken off for the holidays, happy holidays. And those of you who are still here,